But you know who I can't stand even more than the cops? V-Shred. Because V-Shred is lying to the American people, okay? V-Shred claims to be the singular guy. This one guy who's got the secrets to working out or whatever. But it's actually just a fitness model
ridiculous margins, which gives
who was scooped up by a corporation who is now using cheap marketing tricks to try and sell you their fitness program. That is what V-Shred is. For those who don't know what I'm talking about with this V-Shred thing, this guy, I believe his name is Vince. You've probably, if you're into fitness at all, you've definitely seen this guy on your YouTube ads. Okay, and he's been exposed time and time again for not knowing what he's talking about, for spreading misinformation, for doing ridiculous workouts, for teaching people how to deadlift the wrong way and in a way that's going to get them injured. Selling products like Test Boost Max that have been scientifically proven not to work and to actually have the opposite effect of what V-Shred will tell you, yet they continue to grow in subscribers. They continue to grow in following because there's so much money behind it. So like I said, it's really like a corporate board of like 4 people. It's a company who scooped up this fitness model, and they basically put, write scripts for this guy and have him film these videos saying, I'm going to teach you how to eat, an extra large pizza every day and still have 6-pack abs, right? He'll say something that's literally impossible, scripted for him, to try and sell this V-Shred garbage that has been reviewed and has been proven by experts to be garbage. And then they just blast him over YouTube via advertising. So they have all this money behind this guy, and they try and put these videos of him, selling V-Shred to you before every YouTube video you watch, right? So they're basically just using the power of money, and using the power of quantity over quality to grow their following and, grow their money. And as this guy, More Plates, More Dates, Derek was showing, who is, a science-based fitness YouTuber, who is a fitness YouTuber whose products, Gorilla Mode, I recommend because they're science-based and they are actually useful and they are actually based on, what's really going to help your performance and your fitness. What was I saying? This guy has exposed V-Shred, exposed his products, but he shows here that V-Shred's subscriber count is still going up.
30,000 subscribers. I do not think this channel is even representative of 2.2 million real people. I think a lot of it is artificially inflated numbers. Like, there's no way.
So essentially, there's no way that this Vince guy could be growing in subscribers this much just based on the quality of his products. Because if you look up reviews for all of V-Shred's products, or if you look up scientific breakdowns of their products, they're garbage, right? They're using ingredients that aren't proven to help. And they're using, like I said, money to put themselves in front of as many people as they can. But even more, I think what's even more disgusting than that for me, as someone who's actually into fitness and who actually wants to help people, reach their fitness goals and, live a healthier lifestyle, is V-Shred uses the scummiest tactics, right? It'll be like him with his abs, with his 6-pack abs and like a full large pizza. And he'll be like, you think I eat salad? Heck no, I don't eat that rabbit food. I'm going to eat this full large pizza tonight and still have a freaking 8-pack. Okay, it's physically impossible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you've been tricked by 6-pack shortcuts or by V-Shred or whatever into thinking that you can have an 8-pack and destroy large pizza every night for dinner. But if you want to have an 8-pack, or if you want to have visible abs or a 6-pack, you pretty much have to starve yourself. You pretty much have to give up food that tastes really good, or at least eat it in much, much smaller quantities. That's just simply what it takes. That's why, that's why I don't love the fitness industry brainwashing and the idea that you need a six-pack to be healthy, because you don't, right? You can be a healthy person and still eat pizza and some foods that you like and get your exercise in while getting your vegetables and your nutrients in and lifting weights and still looking healthy without having a freaking 8-pack, right? But what they do for is, and one of the scummiest tricks that they use, this V-Shred guys will be like, Harvard experts have just discovered a new way, a loophole, as if there's a loophole in the human body or a loophole in physics, that if, they've discovered the secret to losing weight, right? And if you just buy V-Shred's products, you can have the secret to losing weight too. And you never have to worry about your weight again. You'll always just walk around and have a six-pack, right? That loophole does not exist. That loophole does not exist. I'll repeat. What does exist is the law of thermodynamics, which you can't get around, right? Calories in, calories out. You have to burn more calories than you intake if you want to lose weight. That's the only way. It's the law of thermodynamics. There's no loophole invented by Harvard medicine to always look good. But if you blast that message over YouTube before every single video to people who are uneducated, to people who just want to lose a few pounds, to people who want to get in shape, right, they fall for it. And there was a very, very, very similar scam to this a while back called six-pack shortcuts. Does anyone remember this? And the six-pack shortcuts guy would just be like eating pasta and eating pizza and stuffing his face and sitting there with his six-pack abs. And he would be like, look, I eat whatever I want and I still have a six-pack. And it's just a scam, right? That guy probably probably did fasted cardio, probably depleted himself of water for like a week, and then sat down and ate pizza and filmed it, and then said, look, I eat pizza every day and I still have these abs. Buy my program. And the margins on it are incredible because they're not even selling a product. They're selling information, right? They're selling like the V-Shred app that gives you a bunch of workouts, which, as I said before, this guy, Vince, his workouts aren't even legit. There's one where he's like holding some machine, like whatever, just a basic lifting machine that you would pull or do triceps on or whatever. And he's just rotating his chest like this, right? There's one where he's taking a kettlebell and he's catching it like this, which is bad for your elbow. There's one where he's deadlifting and he's, showing you to use your back, which is doing deadlifts not the right way. When I got tired is how I hurt my lower back and why my lower back hurts so bad right now. So they're selling garbage. They're selling nonsense. It's literally a scam. It's literally a scam, you guys. And I know it's unfortunate. It's sad that there's no loophole to, six-pack abs without having to try. But there's not. And when you lie to people and when you tell them that there is some loophole that Harvard scientists have figured out or whatever, and all you got to do is buy our V-Shred app, you trick people and you put people down the wrong path and you fill people's minds with misinformation. And you make it harder for them to actually reach their fitness goals and reach an achievable, sustainable, healthy weight or body mass or whatever. Something, capitalism creates a world after its own image, something. I forgot who said that. Yeah, some guy, some really smart guy. I believe his name was Marl Karks. Thank you very much for that, Sam Dixon. But what's making me so mad about this voice crack number 2, you're right. Then after the video, he went and forced himself to puke. Yeah. And a lot of these, fitness influencers develop bulimia and other things as they try and maintain this almost impossible standard. But it's so frustrating to see this misinformation, especially as I'm training for the U.S. Open, like I said. And, right now I do have visible abs, right? If I flex, right? I'm actually looking somewhat like the V-Shred guy, okay? I am not eating pizza. I am not eating. I am not eating anything that I want to eat. In fact, I'm waking up every morning, taking yohimbine, or not every morning, but something like yohimbine or some fat burning formula. I'm doing fasted cardio, and then I'm eating for the first time at around 2 p.m. or 3 p.m., and it's a salad, right? And this is not really something that's sustainable. This is not something that I would recommend. This is something that I am doing as an athlete at the senior level, at the highest level of in my sport, wrestling, to try and get down to a weight that's 12 to 15 pounds below my natural weight, and compete at a high level against the best guys in the nation. Right? That's what I have to do to maintain a six pack abs. And even then, it's, some days I have a 4-pack. So for this V-Shred guy to be telling people that they can just eat pizza all the time and they're going to look like him, you're filling people's heads with misinformation, and then people are going to think like that. People are going to eat pizza and they're going to be like, wow, I don't look like the V-Shred guy. This sucks. What is this? Like, let's be honest with people. But this is the capitalist system. This is every industry under capitalism. Every industry under capitalism incentivizes scammers, incentivizes quantity over quality, right? Why offer people a high quality product when you can just scam them and make a bunch of money right away? So there have been a lot of exposés on V-Shred, but someone recently basically put together like a freaking movie about it, explaining what this is all about. So I'll shut up for a little bit and we can watch it. Sorry, let me answer a few of the fitness questions actually for a sec. Do you take casein protein before bed? I don't. I just take protein after lifting at night or after wrestling at night, for muscle rebuilding. We should nationalize the health guru industry. Definitely. Let's just absorb it into Midwestern Marx. Like, I'll do it. I'll run it. I already do fitness videos on our Patreon, patreon.com/MidwesternMarx. Fitness and self-defense videos. Can anyone help draw historical parallels to influencers? They play such an odd role in society. I was thinking about that today. Celebrities and influencers. I don't know what you'd compare them to. Like kings and queens back then, maybe. Eddie, what fat burner do you take? I've been doing cardio before work, but the weight isn't going anywhere. Yeah, I would do. This is what I take for fasted cardio, and I don't take it every day because I don't want to build a tolerance. But A2AM from Gorilla Mind, or Gorilla Mode, this video we're about to watch, it's this guy's supplement company. That's what I take. It's yohimbine, or no, Rowelcine. I can't remember if it's Rowelcine or yohimbine, but one of those chemicals. And it's really good fasted. I also drink yerba mate. I do a lot of fasting. I just am hungry all the time. I'm hungry right now. Which is why it pisses me off when I hear V-Shred talk about you can eat large pizzas every day and have a 6-pack. No, you can't, V-Shred. I'm sorry. You're a liar. Dude, this guy's been a scam for years. If you're into fitness, this is well known. But his thing is marketing to the low info masses. Exactly. It's a scammy message that low info individuals looking to get into fitness will believe. Mainly, you can eat large pizzas every night and still have a 6-pack. And then there's tons of money pushed behind it. So this guy's videos play before your YouTube videos as an advertisement. So it's not aimed at anybody within the fitness industry. Everybody within the fitness industry mocks this guy. But it's a fitness industry scam that is sold to people outside the industry, which is the quintessential like capitalist mutation of fitness. The way that capitalism uses something like human health and human fitness to market a product and make a profit. Sorry, one more thing. Lenin was big into fitness. We need to use him as an example to turn fitness people into communists and communists into fitness people. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more, the five heads. This is part of why I'm doing this video. And that is also why On Physical Education is one of my favorite works of Marxist theory ever. which is a work from Mao Zedong, where he says, civilize the mind and make savage the body. Gorilla Mind has misleading supplements, and then there's a Reddit post. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be debate over any supplement I recommend, right? Any supplement I recommend, you're going to be able to find a Reddit post that says, this is garbage. These people are lying to you. This is terrible. But for me, as not a professional athlete, but as a senior level athlete, somebody whose main purpose right now is to train and compete, Gorilla Mode is the most science-based supplements you could get. They're far less misleading than any of the other supplements. And I'm sure there's criticisms to be made of them. And, there's Reddit posts claiming that every supplement company on earth isn't that great. But for my money, Gorilla Mode is awesome. And, sorry, just so I'm being as transparent as possible, this is a stimulant-based weight loss formula that also helps you exercise and do fasted cardio. But you can stack this with nitric, which is another Gorilla Mode product. It's not stimulant-based, but it's like the most intensive pre-workout that you can take that's not based on stimulants. So you can take one that is based on stimulants, combo it with a hardcore one that isn't based on stimulants, and you can just be like, whoa, let's go work out, baby. Where you at, V-Shred? Fight me.
What's up, guys? Derek, moreplates.com. Today we're going to be reacting to We Need to Stop V-Shred by Josh Brett. So I guess I'm late to the party because I see the top comments. Greg Doucette saw it 3 days ago. Scott Herman saw it yesterday. Some other big influencer fitness guys saw it yesterday. So I just stumbled across this by accident, and Josh Brett is a new creator, it seems like. He only has 9,000 subscribers, even though obviously the reason I'm bringing this up, by the way, is because I got a few minutes into it, and I've never made a V-Shred specific video, but you can imagine what my
Cade grenade, and I can't believe in 2023 V-Shred is seriously talking about body types like ectomorph, right? This is like, if you're like into the fitness industry, this is stuff that's like 3, 4, 5 years old. Like nobody really, like starting about 2 or 3 years ago, nobody really talked about this anymore, right? Because they realize there's no scientific backing behind this idea that some people are ectomorphs, some people are endomorphs, right? Like the human body is more complicated than that, right? And you can understand this just by taking a dialectical or a Marxist approach to fitness, right? The human body is made up of all these complex functions, all these complex chemicals, all of which work together, right? Which is why I love More Plates, More Dates so much, because he gives the scientific perspective on these things. And oftentimes his videos go on forever, and he overloads people's mind with the science because it's complicated, right? It's not as simple as this V-Shred guy is trying to make it. It's not as simple as if you're an ectomorph, that means that you can eat large pizza 3 times a week and do these workouts and you'll have a 6-pack. And if you're an endomorph, you can do the same thing, but you have to just change up your workouts a little bit and you can still have a 6-pack. That's not how it works, right? If regardless of your body type depends on the level of chemicals that you have. And if I take testosterone, right, that might boost my testosterone and boost certain functions, but it might change how another chemical works in my body, which might change another function of my body, right? So you have to be careful about what you're putting in your body. You have to understand what you're doing. And, really, if you're going to experiment with like hardcore chemicals or even, steroids, you need to be getting regular blood work to figure out how, your body operates. Understand that all of your body's functions are interconnected, and that is interconnected with how you eat, your nutrition, the supplements you take, right? So it's very complicated. And what these scam artists like V-Shred try and do is simplify it. They try and make it, it's just this simple, right? It's this simple. Harvard researchers figured out a loophole to give you a 6-pack while still eating pizza and ice cream and cookies every night. Okay, it's not how it works. Some people can probably eat pizza and ice cream and cookies every night and be skinny, but that's going to go away eventually. You're going to nuke your metabolism eventually, but yeah.
what my take on it is when you've seen some of the stuff like Greg has made, some of the stuff other guys in the industry have made that are well respected, about V-Shred. Like, you can just imagine what I would, speculate on. You'll get some of my opinions in this video, by the way, but this was very well done, and it doesn't seem like he's a new creator, so, maybe if I can, it looks like the algorithm's picking it up quite nicely, but, if I can help get it some more attention, like, great, because this was very well put together. I only got a few minutes in, and I was like, okay, this guy put a shit ton of time into this, and it's very, very well, it's like one of those, like, documentary style things that you can tell the guy spent a lot of time, creating this very, very thoroughly edited, like, masterpiece, essentially summarizing like all of the important points. And I haven't watched the full thing. I got a few minutes in. I was like, hey, this thing is very good and it's worth reacting to.
Hi, Pedamio. Yeah, this is a great video. Whoever this guy is that put it together, give his channel a follow. If you're into fitness and if you want to get into fitness, follow that guy. And then follow this guy, More Plates, More Dates.
In case you guys don't stumble across it, I think it's worth a watch. So you're about to watch it on my channel, and I highly recommend you check out Josh Brett, because I imagine he will probably put out similar stuff in the future that'll probably be similar quality. So I'm going to start from the beginning, and we're going to go through it together.
A quick Google search reveals he was single-handedly responsible for 2020. But jokes aside, Vince is what you would call a fitness guru, and it doesn't take long to identify his infamy.
For those of you who don't know V-Shred, he's just a retard. Seriously.
I'm sorry, and the R word, but that guy is, if you don't know that guy's name is Vegan Gains. This guy, those in the fitness industry, I should do a different video about,
and it doesn't take long to identify his infamy.
For those of you,
I should do another video about Vegan Gains. This guy's like a vegan, and he's like so hardcore in favor of veganism that like his grandfather had a heart attack, and he was like filming it and being like, this is what happens when you eat meat. Stupid grandpa should have been a vegan. So he's not much better than V-Shred, but
you who don't know V-Shred, he's just a retard.
There is seriously something wrong that you want innocent people to ingest highly controversial and simply dangerous ingredients.
One day I'm going to be on my deathbed. I don't want my overwhelming big regret that I watched a 50-minute V-Shred video.
Because pretty much every single video this guy puts out is full of misinformation and really does nothing except mislead people and promote garbage products in the process.
I can't believe he's saying this stuff. It's mind-blowing that he's that stupid.
This has no idea what the f he's talking about.
Yeah, not a fan.
I would follow this guy too, just to give you guys some advice, like from a Marxist perspective of who you can follow in this industry that's pretty good and that will be honest about taking testosterone or steroids. Because a lot of people will lie and say that they're natural athletes when they're not, like The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson will be like, no, I don't take steroids. I just look like a mountain and I put on 40 pounds of muscle in my 40s. Like, that's not how it works. Your testosterone starts to go down, in your upper 30s and mid or early 40s for most people. So if you see someone like The Rock, who in their late 30s, or like Zac Efron right now, who in their late 30s, early 40s, puts on fucking 25 pounds of muscle and become even bigger than before, they're probably on gear. They're probably on steroids. Now, people like More Plates, More Dates, and this guy, Greg Doucette, they've done some steroids, right? They've done some testosterone. They've experimented with these cycles, but they are honest about it. They don't lie to you. They say, yes, this is what I'm taking, and this is how I'm smart about it. This is how I'm trying to not mess up my body for life, right? Here's how I get blood work regularly. Here's how I do everything under the supervision of a doctor. Okay, and then they expose these liars, these people like V-Shred, who are using the fitness industry to make a bunch of money because capitalism. So under a socialist system, to bring this back to Marxism and capitalism, under a socialist system, these scammers would be put away, not like in jail, but this misinformation wouldn't be allowed to circulate, right? But with YouTube cracked down on the six-pack shortcuts guy that we were talking about earlier. But this V-Shred company is paying YouTube so much freaking money to advertise all the time that YouTube's not going to crack down on them. Follow the money, baby. Capitalism has destroyed the fitness industry.
This has no idea what the f he's talking about.
Yeah, not a fan.
In an industry with so much debate, there seems to be something that everyone agrees on.
You should not listen to V-Shred, right? You just shouldn't.
But here's where it gets confusing. Despite being hated amongst the fitness community, his brand is growing year after year. And after supposedly hitting $100 million in sales within just 3 years, it would seem as if he is only becoming more and more successful. So why is V-Shred regarded as the villain of the industry? What is the reason for all the hate? And despite all of this, why is he only going to make more and more money?
Noel Dazel is funny AF too. He's honest about steroids. Yes, that guy. And then Joe Stetics. There's another guy named Joe Stetics. Hilarious Bulgarian guy. Honest. He's like, yeah, I'm on some test. He's like, here's all my stupid stories about taking giant steroid cycles and messing up my hormones when I was a kid. Don't do this. Here's what I take now. Testosterone replacement therapy under the supervision of a doctor. And I don't mind that at all. You don't have to be a natural athlete. You know, these bodybuilders and professional weightlifters need to do some enhancements. Or actors, right? Eddie, doesn't steroids destroy your testosterone in the long run? Yeah. So a lot of these guys, what happened is they got into bodybuilding. They did a cycle of steroids to try and keep up. They did it wrong. They weren't well researched. They screwed up their testosterone. And now they need testosterone replacement therapy under the supervision of a doctor. So anybody who's lying about their steroid use is another product of capitalist fitness, and the way capitalism destroys the fitness industry, and they're hurting young kids. I guess Zac Efron did a movie where he needed to be shredded again. Yeah, now so he did Baywatch where he was like cut. Like he literally looked like I look when I'm cutting weight. I should show you guys some of the pictures of me when I make weight. I'm literally under 5% body fat, I think. It's ridiculous. It's so painful. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. The night before competition, I lay in bed and I sleep for 5 minutes. And then I'm so thirsty, I wake up having a dream that I'm like drinking iced tea or something. I'm like, and then you lay there for 30 minutes trying to fall back to sleep. You fall asleep for 5 seconds. You wake up again. It's the most painful thing ever. And that's what Zac Efron was doing for Baywatch, basically. Now he's doing this thing where he's playing a pro wrestler and he's just swole as crap. Giant, huge, like distended gut, even like a turtle shell abs. And you know, he's denying being on gear. He's denying being on testosterone and steroids. It's like, dude, I get you're under pressure from your agent or from the movie studios or whatever. You're under pressure from Hollywood to not talk about this stuff. But you're creating an unrealistic body expectation for young kids, young boys who look up to you and want to be like you. And you're telling them that you can achieve this physique naturally when you can't, right? Realistically, there's only so much you can do naturally depending on your genetics. So again, this all relates to capitalism in the fitness industry. Fitness when it's marketed, right? Fitness when you're trying to sell it on the market, not when you're trying to just help people be their healthiest, which is all I really care about with talking about this stuff.
Over the past few months, I've spent way too much of my time researching V-Shred, so you don't have to. And spoiler alert, things are not as innocent as they seem.
You suck! These influencer programs can seem. You need to take a minute to find out what's real life versus what Instagram.
So my kind of stance before I actually get into the details here is this guy is a heavy-duty internet marketer where he will go hard as fuck on the ads. Like this guy's all over the place. He's on Snapchat. He's on Facebook. He pushes ads hard to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if to reach that $100 million in revenue, he spent how many, dozens of millions of dollars in, advertising costs. That's not to take away from the fact that he earned that revenue, but there's a huge scope of audience that is outside of like the niche fitness community of like informed individuals. There's just a general massive population of people who don't watch this kind of shit, who don't watch, Greg Doucette videos, who don't watch, whoever. Like this is actually a relatively small community when you actually look at how like the biggest influencers are like, 1 million subscribers. Like that's a lot. But I mean, in very more mainstream niches, big influencers are guys with like 20 million subscribers. And there's a huge demographic of people that don't even watch YouTube at all. Like obviously it's becoming more and more popular, but it seems like V-Shred goes after the uninformed. He has heavy duty marketing ad spend and goes aggressively after those who don't even know who he is probably.
So there you go. Exactly what I was describing. He goes after the uninformed. He just quantity over quality, puts his face out there, tricks uninformed people into thinking they can have a six-pack while not exercising and eating pizza as long as they buy his program, and that's how they make their money. So everyone knows this V-Shred thing is a joke, but they keep making more money and gaining followers.
And I'm going to get into soon as well some of these statistics behind his numbers, because they're something you would only be able to pick out if you have been an influencer for a while, and I'll describe why. Maybe he touches on it in the video, but it's something I've noticed very specifically myself about his channel.
In 2015, V-Shred posted a video named Get Shredded Fast. This is his first public video on the channel, and it was pretty much your average run-of-the-mill follow-along video.
What's up, guys? Vince, the creator of the Vince Andy Six Pack Shred here.
He then went on to post video after video and was slowly growing his brand, providing tips in a similar way to the YouTuber AthleanX. And as a result, he gained thousands and thousands of followers. Things were going great, and what seemed like an innocent, wholesome fitness channel was on the rise. Until this man came along. He highlighted how V-Shred had in fact been making content a little too similar to AthleanX, and was essentially plagiarizing his videos.
He just copies everything word for word most of the time from what AthleanX does. He takes.
So it began with plagiarism, and if you know about lifting weights and form and all these things, which is the most important thing, right? The most important thing you can tell a young person getting into fitness for the first time is how to have good lifting form. So they're not hurting themselves. So they're building muscle, even if they're not lifting huge, heavy weights. And so then they can build a foundation, right? So you build a foundation of muscle and bone density through doing workouts right with good form, like my dad had me do when I was in 3rd, 4th grade. And then, you know, if you're 22 years old, by the time you're 22, you have a good foundation, you know, and if you decide you want to start taking some supplements to enhance yourself, okay, then you can do your research and do it at that point. But instead, these kids get this idea, you know, I can be huge like Zac Efron today. I'm going to take Tren when I'm 15. And then that's when they screw up their hormones, and that's when they screw up their testosterone. Peta Mio says, isn't that palumboism when somebody's gut sticks out from testosterone? Yes. So it can actually cause your intestines and your gut to become enlarged. And it distend, which is actually what Zac Efron kind of looks like right now, which Les Cassawari says, I've never seen him that big. It's insane. It is insane. It's insane how big Zac Efron is right now. And, you know, the fact that he would deny being on enhancements is kind of absurd. I'm seeing more and more bodybuilders saying they feel awful when they're getting ready for competition and that their physique isn't sustainable. Yes. And more of them need to come out and start saying this. More of them need to be honest about this. Otherwise, you create an unrealistic body standard for young boys. I mean, we all know about the unrealistic body standard that's created by Photoshop and models and people starving them, or celebrities starving themselves for young girls, right? It's very similar for young boys, but it can even be worse in some cases, because the idea for young boys is I have to take steroids, right? So young girls are starving themselves. There's a problem with them developing eating disorders, and that's horrible, terrible. But then for boys, there's this unique problem. I mean, there's overlap, right? There are boys who develop eating disorders and feel like they have to be skinny, for sure. And there are girls who feel like they have to take steroids, but it's more common for young males to feel like they need to take steroids. And then they're messing up their hormones and their testosterone production for life, right? When they should just be focusing on good form, working hard, developing good eating habits, developing good exercise habits for life, not taking steroids before you even have a foundation built. Like old Liver King, yes. And Joe Rogan actually admits to taking TRT now and growth hormones, but these bodybuilders need to admit that, right? They can't, like, it's wrong for them to continue pretending like these bodies that they get on stage with are sustainable. And to drive this point home, I've actually pulled up the pictures of myself when I make weight, right? So this is the weight class I'm getting down to right now, 72 kilograms, 158 pounds. Naturally, I weigh about 175 to 180 pounds, pretty healthy, you know, a little bit of body fat, but not a ton. Visible abs at 175. And when I get down to 158, this is what I look like. That's me at 158 pounds. Like, literally, it looks like the skin is stretched over my muscles. And sometimes I can see my heart beating underneath my ribs. Look at that. Okay, this is not sustainable, guys. This looks good. Yes, I can look at this and I'm like, wow, good for me. Or I can think back to how difficult this was to attain. And, you know, how I had to run and run and run just to get down to 165. Right? And then after I got to 165, which was lighter than I should be, I had to lose another 7 pounds of water weight and stuff. Okay, this is not healthy. Yeah, it looks good. It looks crazy. I enjoy looking back at these pictures and seeing how jacked I got for this, you know, competition. But I am dreading having to do this again. I am dreading having to dehydrate myself and suck all my every ounce of fat out of my body again. Right? This is not healthy. Okay, so I understand why, you know, athletes in bodybuilding or whatever feel, you know, need to get to this size, because obviously I'm doing it right now again, and I've done it before in the past. But you can't lie, right? If I were to come out here and say just buy the Midwestern Marks fitness plan for $10 a month and you can look like me and eat pizza every night, I would be lying to you. I would probably sell a bunch of Midwestern Marks fitness plans the same way V-Shred has, but I would be misinforming you and giving the kids who watch me the idea that this is an attainable physique. I can attain this physique for about a day, and then I eat food and, you know, I don't look like this anymore, or drink water. Right? This is not natural. Something for the list. The Sporting Life of V.I. Lenin by Carter Elwood is a scholarly article that reveals so many cute things about Lenin. Oh, that sounds awesome. The Sporting Life of V.I. Lenin. I'm writing it down for later. Thank you, Sam Dixon. And thank you again for the super chat. Really, really appreciate y'all supporting our project, supporting what we're doing here via super chats and super stickers. We've had quite a few. So really, really appreciate that. You've got the arms of a 7-year-old girl, my dude. Chill. Okay, buddy. All right, anonymous man. Ugh. Let's see how big your guns are, anonymous tough guy. Let's see the pictures of you when you look like this. How'd you place at the U.S. Open last year?
It's a video of Athlete X's from the past, and then he decides that he is going to remake it, stumbling over the words because he doesn't understand it the way that
Exactly, Lita Elliott. Starving only looks good because we've been brainwashed with beauty standards, right? That last picture of me was not healthy, right? That shouldn't be the ideal.
Jeff does.
The magnifying glass was on V-Shred, and it quickly became apparent.
Unless you're that guy who said my arms are small, Sniper 7, if you don't look like me in those pictures, then you're weak-minded and your family doesn't love you. So you have to get down to that weight and dehydrate yourself like that. Otherwise, you're a loser.
That Vince had absolutely no idea what he was talking about.
And this goes for any cable extension, for any tricep extension on a cable. When you're doing a tricep extension on a cable, right here, what happens is, yes, right here, and then first off, when you're doing this, a lot of
After being exposed, he began to make his own content for the first time, and this only further highlighted how clueless he was. He tried to teach people to deadlift, all while not knowing how to himself.
Talking about the Romanian deadlift, that is just when you see people stepping up to the bar, they have their feet about shoulder width apart, feet slightly pointed outwards, and they grab this bar just outside of their shins, and they pull this straight up their legs, they drive their hips forward, lock out their glutes.
He spreads tons of misinformation.
Oh, you're gonna hurt people's back, dude. You're gonna hurt people's back. That guy's basically on his toes doing deadlifts. You're gonna be deadlifting with your back. You got to get back on your heels, right? So he's spreading blatant misinformation that's gonna get people injured. Are elite sports and athletics partially to blame for this as well, or is it because they're operating within a capitalist system? I go back and forth on that, man, because like the Soviet athletes weren't too much different, right? The Soviet athletes also did a lot of this stuff, or do a lot of this stuff, and you know, took performance enhancing drugs. I think it's kind of just the nature of sports, right? But like, I don't mind getting down to that weight once a year or twice a year, 3 times a year for sports, right? I know what I'm doing. I'm supervised by a doctor. I have a scientific approach to my health and fitness, right? Like, it's not going to kill me to get down to that weight so I can compete at that weight class again, right? What I'm saying is it's bad for kids to think that that's ideal, right? For kids to think that's attainable or sustainable, right? And I got nothing against bodybuilders sucking the water out of them so they can get up on stage and look huge, right? Because they're just doing it for a small amount of time. And, you know, a lot of them are putting stress on their heart and things, but they know what risk they're signing up for when they're getting to the highest level of their sport, right? But it's the idea that this is sustainable and achievable, which is an idea that's sold to kids because of capitalism, right? That idea that this is a sustainable body type is prevalent because of capitalism, because of scams like V-Shred, because of scams like V-Shred that'll tell you you can look like this and eat pizza all the time. I haven't really gotten into reading theory. Where should I start? State and Revolution? Yes, State and Revolution and Imperialism, the Highest Stage of Capitalism. We have reading guides, full reading guides for both on our YouTube.
See, like for me, seeing how he has been so successful, even after he got exposed by Alan Roberts, got exposed by all the guys who just like fucking annihilated him, it just goes to show how his target demographic is essentially people outside of the scope of who like our videos get to. Not that like we all share the same demographic, but I mean, people on YouTube, like, I don't know, the same general interests, they kind of overlap a lot. Like you'll find a lot of these channels have, a lot of their subscribers are kind of the same as other channels in this niche, but V-Shred, his target, like his Facebook ads, Snapchat ads, etc., they go way further than, they go way wider than what, you know, the general YouTube fitness community reaches from organic views. So it's not.
I see some people in the chat talking about like, you know, I don't look perfect. I don't look super aesthetic, but I can still pick someone up and throw them, or I'm still really strong. Like, yeah, there's a huge difference between functional strength and aesthetic strength too. And what's sold to us, what's packaged and marketed to us under capitalism is aesthetic strength, right? Not functional strength, which, you know, like I said, you can have a lot of body fat on yourself and still be a healthy adult. Or, you know, you can have body fat and still be functionally strong as shit. Some of the strongest people I know don't even look like super shredded, right? This idea that zero body fat and sucking all the water out of your body equals health is an idea that's marketed to us by capitalism. We'll go a little bit longer with this video here.
Not surprising that a lot of people just have no idea about his reputation and or, you know, don't really like take it that seriously, I guess.
Today, I'm going to be showing you guys why the bench press is never going to get your chest any bigger.
And has even tried to invent his own dangerous exercises, to which Athlete X mocked.
Ow! Fuck me! What are you doing? What is that?
Oh yeah, I remember this fucking chest thing.
Jesse, what the f are you doing now? And what is up with that hair? Oh, I copied it.
But what is perhaps more of a concern is the fact that despite his apparent lack of knowledge, he is selling his own programs. And you would have thought that given his awful track record and extortionate prices, he must struggle to make sales. I mean, nobody takes him seriously, right? And that is where you would be wrong. Despite his poor reputation, most of his videos receive positive feedback, his followers are increasing, and he's only making more and more money.
Okay, so one thing a lot of people, I think, overlook when it comes to his giant following is the fact that I think a lot of it is artificially inflated. I think he bought a lot of it, to be honest. Because when you look at Social Blade, I don't know if you saw my Will Tennyson video where I like use math to kind of estimate what his subscriber count was, and I based it on similar demographics, similar views relative to subscriber ratios, and I calculated with, you know, what I assumed to be pretty reasonable accuracy what his subscriber count was at the time, and he actually messaged me privately and said I was pretty fucking spot on. And it's not hard to go to Social Blade and start looking at some of these metrics and starting to pick up patterns. And it becomes pretty obvious when something like way off. So like, for example, if you go to V-Shred's page, he's kind of like in a groove where.
All right, so I want to watch this part because it's really interesting because it proves what I was saying earlier about V-Shred selling garbage. Like we just saw, he was showing not just, you know, telling people that they can eat a pizza and have a six-pack, but literally showing people how to deadlift wrong and showing people how to do useless workouts. But I would also want to respond to this. Living in the North is rough if you don't have body fat. Oh, it's cold. True. Also very true. And when I get down to weight, it literally hurts to sit down, you guys. It hurts to sit down because I have no fat on my butt. And I've heard bodybuilders say that they can't even walk because all the padding on their feet gets eroded. Right? So I sit down and my butt is like made of bone. It's like, ow. Right? It's not healthy to have zero body fat. It's just simply not.
He's, you know, obviously doing well off of his ads at this point. He's not trying to grow his channel. He's kind of like built up his, you know, credibility with his massive channel. And now he's kind of just like cranking the ad spend because he's figured out like a thing that works, and you just pour more money into it. When your ads have a good enough return on ad spend, called ROAS, you can just fucking pour into them, and it's just like exponential what you can do if you know how to work Facebook ads as well as, the other platforms. So for him, the YouTube is not like creating organically viewed videos is not his priority anymore. And you can see his subscriber count is growing very slowly. He's only getting, an average of 67,000 views a day right now and only 667 subscribers per day because he's not trying to grow the channel. However, when he was trying to build up his credibility, you can see historically, these are his numbers way back in the day. So this is, back in 2018, he was at 805,000 subscribers in January 19. And this looks like pretty linear progression. Like you'd think, oh, this guy's just putting in work. This guy is, cranking up the vids and people are liking them. But when you look a bit closer, it doesn't really make sense because you look here, you can see January 19. So he's gaining, like 8,000, 9,000 subscribers a day, upwards of, or these are weeks, sorry. So week, June 3rd to June 10th, 15,000 subscribers, 19,000, July 8th to July 15th, getting up as high as 27,000 subscribers in a week, or actually his peak is 30K, November 4th, 2019 to November 11th of 2019. But when you look at how many views the guy got during those timeframes, does it line up? Let's go down to November. During that time frame, during the week when he gained 30,000 subscribers, he had 596,000 views. Does that equate? Could you possibly, in your fucking wildest dreams, with the best, most likable person, not somebody who people like actually think is a scammer and people like, generally don't really trust, who, copies people's ideas or whatever he does, would you ever conceivably have 1 out of every 20 people who watches your video subscribe? Or something like that. Like if you actually do the math, he had about 600,000 views, and he jumped up 30,000 subscribers during that same time frame. Is it really realistic that every 20 people who watches is going, one person subscribes? No, that's like, let's look at me for an example. So we can use mine as a comparison just to exemplify the point. So this is my social blade for the past month, and you can see if I get over 600,000 views. Let's actually look at my highest viewed day in this month. 949,000 views. How many subscribers did I get? 4,000. I got 4,000 subscribers for 949,000 views. But V-Shred, when he gets 596,000, he gets 30,000 subscribers. Does it seem realistic that V-Shred is like 10 times more likable and subscribable than I am? Like, I'm not trying to be cocky or anything, but these are just impossible numbers. Like the guy is getting, 600,000 views per week, and he is getting subscriber numbers that make absolutely no sense for the amount of views you're getting. Like you simply do not have that much traffic to equate to these subscribers.
So garbage fitness advice, garbage quality, garbage, what do we call this in Marxism? Garbage use value. V-Shred is selling something that has no use value. That's not useful to anyone, but they're buying followers, right? They're buying viewers. They're buying advertisement to push their garbage scam artist nonsense in front of impressionable, low information viewers to make money. That's all it's about. It's all it's about is making money. And that guy, later on in this movie, it's revealed that that guy, Vincent Saint, the V-Shred guy, the face of the company, is just a model who was picked up by some corporate investors, some corporations with an idea, a scam idea that's, basically if we can take this model, if we can get a model with a six-pack and get him to tell people that they can eat large pizzas every night and still have, still look aesthetic, still look like freaking Zac Efron, then we'll be able to sell a bunch of fitness programs at insanely high margins. Right? They're not helping anybody. They're not improving anybody's fitness. The use value is zero, but the exchange value is insane. And then they take the exchange value and they put it towards more marketing. They put it towards more advertising, not improving their product, right? Not helping improve people's fitness, but marketing their scam, putting their scam in front of more eyeballs so that they can deceive more people. That is what V-Shred is. And that is what capitalism has done to the fitness industry. Now, I heard someone saying they're so glad to see a Marxist analysis of the fitness industry. I mean, it's long overdue, and there needs to be an analysis of every industry like this, right? So this is actually part of a new series that we're starting at Midwestern Marx called Capitalism Ruined Blank, right? So I have one set up for Capitalism Ruined the Gaming Industry as well, talking about video games. This is how capitalism ruined the fitness industry. And it's basically it shows how capitalism incentivizes people in every industry to put being a scam artist and marketing and exchange value above helping people and putting out an actual good product, putting out an actual useful product, a product with a use value that is constantly getting better and making people's lives better. So V-Shred is the most famous one right now, right? V-Shred is, if you're into fitness at all and you go and you're looking at YouTube videos,
Hey, what's up, guys?
V-Shred is going to pop up as an advertisement before almost every video you watch. Not almost every video you watch, right? But
what I think
V-Shred is going to be something common that you commonly see right now. But back in the day when I was a kid and when I was impressionable, it was six-pack shortcuts. It was this guy named Mike Chang. And when I was in high school, I believed this crap, right? I believed this guy that you could eat steak and pizza and pasta and no salads and just junk food every night and maintain like an 8-pack. And I would always get so mad when it didn't work, and I'd be like, my metabolism's garbage. You know, it's just harder for me than it is for other people. And it, you know, destroyed my view of fitness and my view of my own body and my view of health. Not completely destroyed it, but because what six-pack shortcuts was it was this guy, Mike Chang, just like mowing down. Like I said, they probably starved him for a month. Starved this guy, sucked all the water out, had him get a pump in, and then he sits down and eats a bunch of pasta and films it and goes, yeah, I've been eating pasta for a month, and look at me, I'm still jacked. Right? When in reality, he's been starving himself for a month before he sat down and filmed himself eating pasta and claimed he can eat 1 million calories and maintain an 8-pack. So V-Shred is just the newest form of this guy.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, multicellular organisms? So today we're talking about six-pack shortcuts. They're one of the OGs of the YouTube fitness game. And by OGs, I mean OGs. This content is horrible. So they were one of the biggest scam channels out there. They actually got banned by YouTube itself a few times for scamming people, which is good to see YouTube actually stepping up. It would be nice to see them do the same with V-Shred. I think probably it's because V-Shred is paying for ads and therefore YouTube isn't going to do anything or say anything. They don't want to rock the boat and not get that tasty ad money.
So YouTube eventually cracked down on this Mike Chang guy, but not before he lied to a whole bunch of people like Young Eddie. Young Eddie cutting weight for wrestling, which probably gave me an eating disorder and made me feel like I have to have an 8-pack at all times, like I do when I'm sucked out. And then there's this guy on YouTube when I look up fitness videos telling me that that's achievable, that I can eat pizza every night and still have an 8-pack and look like I'm cutting weight for wrestling. Well, they're lying to people, right? And YouTube eventually shut it down, but not before he was able to scam a whole bunch of people. Right, and YouTube will probably eventually shut V-Shred down too, but not yet because YouTube's making so much money off this scam. And just so you know, here's what the actual video looked like. Like this is Mike Chang's. I remember watching this video as a kid and being like, "Oh my gosh, no way! I can eat so much and still have a 6-pack." Confession: I eat like a fat guy. Sure you do, Mike Chang. I'm sure you eat like a fat guy and maintain an 8-pack abs all year round with an insane amount of muscle mass. Sure you do.
Hey, man.
Hurt Young Eddie. Yeah, you did.
I got something to tell you that might shock you.
And now I take my revenge on you, Mike Chang. Now I'm an adult. Now I understand fitness. And I'm going to be fitting this dick in your mouth. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. But this is my revenge against Mike Chang. And I'm going to tell all my young, impressionable followers how they can actually get buff, how they can actually be as healthy as possible without being scammed and lied to. 8-packs aren't part of a healthy, hydrated person, in my opinion. No. I mean, it depends on your genetics, but usually not.
So most people think that I eat salads all day and starving myself to maintain abs. But in reality, I actually eat like a pig. And I think it's crazy when I see guys out there eating only like 1,000 calories a day, thinking that they're gonna get ripped that way. Most guys don't realize that I eat about 4,000 calories a day, man. Sometimes even more. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not stuffing my face down with like cupcakes or donuts or ice cream or, other types of junk food like that. Even though I do have my share of, cheat meals.
Look, he's got sushi. He's got sushi, like a huge thing of it, garlic bread, rice and broccoli, which are good and healthy, and steak, which is healthy, but a huge portion of it. And then a giant jar of peanut butter, and then whatever this is. Like, if you want to look like Mike Chang, realistically, you can probably eat this once a day, maybe. Like, if you work out twice a day and take PEDs, like Mike Chang is probably also on performance-enhancing drugs, if you look at the size of his biceps, and work out twice a day, take PEDs, and do fasted cardio in the morning, and do intermittent fasting, and just eat this at night, maybe you can maintain this body type. But the idea that I eat like a fat guy, like I can just stuff my face all the time and keep a six-pack, no, it's not realistic. But that is what they're selling you. That is the scam they're selling you, right? So that you have this guy, this is what I've been talking about, who's fasting and working out and probably just got a pump in and has been watching his weight for a month. And then he sits down with a whole bunch of food. He's like, oh, I can have an 8-pack and eat all this. No, you can't. It's a lie. They're selling you a lie. This is a capitalist distortion of human fitness. And even people who want to get to a high level like me. I was an athlete when I saw this. I was an athlete looking on YouTube for ways to improve my fitness and take my physical fitness to the next level. And instead of getting real science-based information, I got this guy scarfing his face with an 8-pack and telling me that this is sustainable, lying to me and trying to sell you something so that they can maximize their own exchange value.
Meals. But
exchange value, for those who don't know, like we should break this down because this is a Marxist stream after all. Exchange value is the amount of money that a commodity is worth on the market, right? So like V-Shred's fitness program has a certain exchange value, its cost, its price. And, that can compare to 6-pack shortcuts has its own exchange value, right? And the use value of a product is how much use it actually brings the customer, which you can't measure quantitatively. You can't measure it in a number. It's qualitative, right? It's determined by the customer and you can't measure it, right? But like More Plates, More Dates has high use value products, right? They're not really selling you anything. The margins on the Gorilla Mode products that he sells you are quite low. All his products are based in science. They're actually going to help you improve your health. They have a high use value, right? They still have a high exchange value. They still make money for Derek, the More Plates, More Dates guy, but they're actually aimed at helping people. These have no use value. These, in fact, these won't hurt people. These won't help people. They hurt people. But they bring in tons of money on the market for whoever's selling them. Tons of exchange value, which they boost at the in exchange for, or at the detriment of use value. That's what I meant.
I'm still able to eat all the foods that I like, steak, mashed potatoes, I love it. Scrambled eggs, pork chops, fajita chicken, and of course, even sushi. So you're probably wondering, how could I eat so much food and still be able to have 6-pack abs? It's actually...
Look at him. Dog. No, you did not just eat an entire plate of sushi, an entire jar of peanut butter, a steak, another bucket of meat, half a plate of rice and broccoli, and then look like this. Your stomach is going to be protruding just from the food that you ate. Right? This is the kind of abs that you get from starving yourself. You would not look like this. You're lying to people for money. Capitalism.
Quite simple. If you want to get ripped by eating all your favorite foods like I do, click the button below to learn exactly how I do it and how you can do the very same thing. So what am I doing differently that's allowing me to burn off everything I eat? and still keeping me motivated to work out and constantly improve my body? Well, I'm doing a new and different type of training that basically allows me to burn calories for up to 48 hours after my workout is over.
Oh, there you go. There's the classic scam, right? So V-Shred says Harvard doctors have discovered a loophole to where you can burn calories all day long without exercising. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist, doesn't exist, doesn't exist. The law of thermodynamics, calories in equals calories out. The more you exercise and the more you move, the more calories you burn, right? And there are ways to increase your metabolism and stuff, but there's no secret trick to burn calories while sitting on your butt. You're lying to people, Mike Chang.
So that means I'm burning calories in and out of the gym, while most guys are just burning calories at the gym. See, this type of training produces what is called the afterburn effect. And that's basically my secret weapon for burning tons and tons of calories without spending a lot of time in the gym.
It's called starving yourself, bro. I call it the afterburn effect. I don't eat for 4 days so I can have shredded abs, and then I get on camera and pretend I'm eating a steak and tell you that I've discovered the secret to weight loss without having to work hard. It's such a lie. It's such a marketing scam. This pisses me off even knowing that this guy got shut down.
Oh man, this one's really good. In fact, I'm burning calories while I'm watching TV, I'm laying around, just being lazy on the couch, sleeping, or even as of right now, talking to you guys, you know? So I just posted a free video showing you how it works, so go check it out by clicking the button below right now. Okay, well, I'm gonna go back to eating my favorite foods now. If you want to start enjoying your favorite foods and get the six-pack abs of your dreams, click the button below and I'll see you there.
If you want the six-pack abs of your dreams, join wrestling, join bodybuilding, suck yourself down for a month, take pictures of yourself so you have them like I do, and then you'll be able to look at them whenever you want. But you're not going to be able to sustain that, and you're especially not going to be able to sustain that eating 4,000 calories a day and sitting on the couch through the afterburn effect. Exchange value over use value, folks. This is capitalism. Under socialism, all these people would be censored. Right? Like, I believe in freedom of expression, freedom of debate, freedom of political expression, but you can't scam people. You can't lie to people about science and about the law of thermodynamics and about health and fitness, because that makes society worse. That tricks people like young Eddie into having an eating disorder. So we're not going to allow that. Law of thermodynamics says energy won't be completely utilized no matter what, so there's no magic fat be gone technique. There's not. There is none. I wish there was. If there was, I would do it. His tone of voice is so like, haha, this is a joke, literally. And you can tell sometimes, like with Vincent Saint, the V-Shred guy, you can tell he's reading off a teleprompter and even he doesn't believe what he's saying because he's jacked. He knows, right? He knows what it actually takes to maintain his physique. It's not fun. It takes a lot of calorie suppression and appetite suppression. He knows that. But he has to go and read off this teleprompter and say, oh, I eat 3 large pizzas a night and I still got an 8-pack. And you can tell. You can tell that he doesn't believe his own bullshit. Because like I said, V-Shred is actually like a team of 4 or 5 corporate lawyers or corporate investors who just found a model to lie for them so that they can market these the V-Shred exercise techniques or whatever. Capitalists love freedom of speech because it means freedom to lie. Right. And under socialism, we'll have real freedom of speech. Adderall is the real fat loss magic pill. Yeah, I guess if there's one real magic fat loss technique, it's amphetamines. You start smoking meth and you'll never be hungry. How do I eat all this and still look like this? Simple. I pray to the fitness gods. Please make me skinny. Eddie, could you make a YouTube poll for what reading guide to do next? Imperialism reading guide was so good. Oh, I'm glad you liked it, Insomniac 2007. I'm also working on redoing that one. I'm on episode 3 or 4, but I can do that. I also have to finish the origins of the family, private property, and the state reading guide. But after I finish that, I will do a poll. Yeah, but that'll take a little bit. You heard it here first, folks. Start smoking meth. No, don't do math. It's not worth being skinny. Not at all. So yeah, that's the Marxist analysis of V-Shred and how capitalism has ruined the fitness industry and six-pack shortcuts. Get exercise, eat healthy, eat nutritious foods, control portions. You know, if you need to burn fat, try and burn more calories than what you take in. But don't believe this nonsense. Don't fall into these capitalist scams.